Good afternoon, this is Lynx. I have a topic here that one of my groups on Facebook, one of my psychic groups, one of the members in there was she was practicing crystal ball readings, and I hadn't seen the post for a while, and I was looking at, she was trying to practice, and she was asking folks what questions that they had while she practiced, and people were asking things like, how many years have I this, or what year did I do this, and they were asking all these time-related questions. And one of the things that I think people mess up when they're doing psychic readings, and it actually frustrates people who are learning, is they have people come up and expect them to be absolutely omniscient and deal in time the way the critical mind deals with time. I will tell you from experience that when you are reading something like a crystal ball or cards, you are coming from a place that does not recognize time the same way that the critical mind does. If it did, it would not be able to see what's the future, the past, and the present. It would not be able to look in the past and see it for what it is and what happened to you if it recognized a past, present, and future. It sees it all. It's the critical mind that then puts things in order when we as a psychic read it. So one of the things that you have to do when you're a reader is you have to take something that quite often is recognized using faculties that don't deal with time as a linear thing, and you're putting them into a linear pattern story for the person that you're reading for. So the fact that someone would ask, what year this, what that, how long, just shows a naivete and an inexperience on the person who's asking the question. It doesn't necessarily mean that you as the reader don't get it. It may be that you're reading it, but you have to come back into your critical mind then and order it in terms of time, and sometimes it doesn't work right. Sometimes it's not, people will ask me all the time, well, when is this going to happen? I'm like, when it happens. When you see these things line up, then you know this is happening. Because sometimes people get to it faster, sometimes they get to it later, and there's all sorts of ways that you can use timing as a method in things like Lenormand and stuff like, yes, I know, and you can, yes. Is it 100% right? No. Sometimes the time will slip by. Time is not what we think it is. I will say that. So if you're doing something, if you're practicing something like crystal ball, or you're working on time and you're working on timing, and someone wants to know specifically the date of something or how long something happened, it's like, wow. And this is another one. I see this all the time. I've done readings for people and said, there's a marriage. You and this person, you're married. And they'll be like, nope, I wasn't married, And then I go, well, how long were you together? And they'll be like, well, 5 years we lived together. That's a marriage. The piece of paper issued by whatever state isn't what comes through when you're reading it. You're reading the energy of it, and you see or feel a bond that is like a marriage bond. And you're like, you guys, there's a marriage here. There's a contract between you. There's a bond between you guys. So if people want to get into the tiny little critical mind details of something when you're a reader, don't get hung up on it, and don't trick yourself into believing that you don't know how to do it or you can't read. It may be that you're getting it very clearly. It may be that you're seeing something in symbols and that you're trying to put the symbols in a way that they can understand them. If they want to test you by saying, well, how long, how many years, how this, how that, that's the critical mind. That's not the faculty that you read with. Okay? And yes, you can connect to beings that can tell you specific time and stuff like that, but that's a whole other thing, and there's a contract that you're making there with those beings who are giving you the advice. And those who really know how to do hoodoo and that kind of magic and ancestral magic, those people who are really good at that stuff understand that there is a contract, and they're willing to make that contract. So be very aware that it doesn't matter what you call it. If it's giving you specifics like time, whatever, that may be, but it may be that that's the being that's giving it to you, not the person. So if you're working on developing your own psychic abilities without the aid of having something intercede in between, and you're feeling or getting some sense of something, or you're getting a clairvoyant flash or something, you may see something that's a picture, or you may see it like a moving picture that doesn't necessarily give you the time. That doesn't mean that you're off, and it doesn't mean that you're not seeing it. So don't doubt. You don't go into a state of doubt then and assume that you're not getting it. Just because you don't measure up to someone else's weird critical mind test doesn't mean that you aren't seeing it with the greater faculty that is psychic, that is capable of seeing things psychically. For one thing, the faculty that can sense and feel energy does not see it in the same way that people line things up in their critical mind. And who's to say, and this is the question I'm going to leave you guys with, who's to say that this thing that people are saying is time and calendars, who's to say that there's any reality to it whatsoever? And maybe they're the ones that are deluded, not you. I'm Lucky Lynx, as always, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. And those of you who are interested in reading a crystal ball, I'm doing a crystal ball class right now within the next couple of weeks. It's starting in a week and a half. If you want information about it, contact me. I don't have my thing written down. I have a whole bunch of it. You will be building a body of symbols that is relevant to you. We will be talking a little bit about guides, a very little bit about guides, and speaking to guides. We will be working on several methods of scrying before you get to the ball, so that you build up your confidence. And there's a couple of things that I've developed to get you. So it's not just gonna be you're looking in the ball and then boom, you get it or not. There's a couple of exercises before that will lead you to being more comfortable with gazing into the ball and getting information that way. And there's also an audio meditation on trusting your own intuition, and it actually takes you into a place. The meditation takes you into a place to connect you to your own intuition, and then gives you a process to be able to tap into it before you start. I'm also going to be talking a little bit about meditation and what you can and can't expect, and what to do in certain situations where there's certain things that happen when you meditate that you have to deal with. They're going to come up, so you have to be aware of that. So just, so this is, it'll be telling you a little bit about what to be aware of. And then you'll be in a better place to actually sit down and get more success with reading the crystal ball. If you're interested in signing up for that class, give me 779-302-8009. You can text me, or you can email me, conjurehope@gmail.com. Also, I'm doing an intermediate to advanced tarot class. I'm doing a playing card class. I'm doing a Lenormand class. I will be doing a Grand Tableau class, and probably in a month or two I'll be doing a Mexican Loteria class. So if you want to contact me about those, or if you want to schedule a reading, contact me, 779-302-8009, or conjurehope@gmail.com. And I'm going to put the PayPal down here. Thank you to all of you who have, wow, some really generous donations. Thank you to all of you who have donated. If you're getting something out of these videos and you want to keep them coming, then feel free to donate. I'll put the PayPal down here. And I will talk to you on the next video. Remember, it may not be that you're not getting it. It may just be that the constraints of the person who's setting whatever test for you is the one who's really not getting it.